Hello there, and welcome to How I Forcefully Changed My Personality, Part 2. Oh god, I wish I chose a shorter name. So for those of you who haven't watched Part 1 yet, I highly recommend it. And for the rest of you, here's a short recap. So basically, I went to Croatia as an exchange student, made little to no friends, and had a meltdown and a realization on the plane home. And now we're on Part 2. Enjoy my pain! What I was thinking on the plane was honestly nothing but negative thoughts. Even before the trip I knew I could appear a bit gloomy sometimes. At least some of my friends used the description tired or sleepy to describe some of my traits sometimes. And I didn't want to appear that way anymore. But I would usually not appear that way when I was with a specific friend group I had. It was only when I wasn't with them I would start appearing more tired. Without them, I just lost all my energy, and I didn't know why. Being with other people and having to talk to them all the time just felt like a chore. Um, I just didn't have the energy or mental capacity. Admittedly, I didn't have many friends. I always said I had friends aplenty, but to be honest, I never hardly had anyone to be with in class because all my friends were in a different classroom than mine. And of course, I want to change that by any means possible. I started hanging out more with extroverted people, leaving the old group behind, and tried smiling even more, even though it felt forced. If I got a question, I would often just smile even harder and laugh a little bit out of context so I could think of an answer that could quickly end the conversation without seeming like I didn't want to talk with them. Of course, this approach to things didn't seem like it was working, so I started doing some weird practices so I could become the kind of person I wanted to be. First of all, I started studying people on YouTube, TV series, and other mainstream sources, and I tried picking out their best traits so I could try using them myself. And yeah, when I found out that it wasn't working, and more often than not I would just hit a mental roadblock when I tried being a different person, I started to devise a system so I could practice different traits. So I have a lot of hoodies, and it's practically the only thing I wear. So I started connecting different personalities to the different hoodies, so I could try to show those personality traits as strongly as possible and know just about what to do. For example, red for funny, green for care, yellow for happiness, and so on. I know, pretty creepy, but this was what I did. Something even more creepy about this practice was that it almost gave me confidence to know what personality I was going to target on for different days. The only downside to this was that doing this all the time made me just beyond exhausted by the end of the day, and I would mostly just stay home after school. Not that I didn't already do that, but I was also tired. Like, actually tired. After a while, my brain would just constantly feel split into a million different opinions, and I could barely ever make a decision by myself. Now if I got represented with a choice, my brain would just go in every single direction possible and overthink even the smallest things. I know this is going to be a very controversial opinion, but I actually think that the only thing keeping me from insanity was the pandemic. With having to stay home most of the year, I get time to think and rest before throwing myself into a new day. I'm fully aware that the pandemic was a horrible event, but without it, I don't know how long I could have held on mentally. Soon the end of the school year came and summer began. Nothing big happened other than me making a new decision and again thinking I'd learned from past mistakes. After summer, I was about to start my first year of high school and would be forced to make new friends. I decided to stop the hoodie personality thing because some people had started to catch on to the fact that my personality was constantly changing every day. The only thing I took with me and kept on forcing onto myself was the smile and the energy. I would just constantly squeeze out as much as possible. My inside and outside would constantly feel scrambled and I never knew what to do. Sooner or later along the way, I made a really good friend, and he made me realize that what I had done the past year was wrong and had taken a huge toll on my mental health. Talking to someone about how I'd felt the past year was like pushing a reset button. It took me way too darn long to finally realize that change happens gradually and shouldn't be forced, or else you might end up like me,